Apple has officially announced their September 9th event. Yes, they're actually doing it one day earlier than we expected, which is on a Monday, which is very interesting. But in this video, I'm gonna go through the 8 new products that we're expected to get released at this new event, which is actually called its Glowtime, which is interesting. That's the invite. And it probably is a little hint at the new Siri 2.0, which I think is gonna be very good and very exciting for Apple and for a lot of people. So let's jump into the first product that they're expected to announce. The first product is gonna be the Apple Watch Series 10. And believe it or not, we're actually in Shenzhen, China right now, which is the birthplace, essentially where Foxconn is, the factory that makes all of the new iPhones and probably a lot more products. So we're here. It's been absolutely amazing here, but let's get back to the Apple Watch Series 10. This new one is going to be upgraded with larger displays, which is the biggest new feature. We're essentially going to go from 41 millimeters up to 45 on the smaller side, and then from 45 up to 49, which is actually matching the Apple Watch Ultra size, but that's for the regular series models, the new Series 10. So I think that's going to be a big deal, basically making the display bigger, which a lot of people like, including myself. It makes it a lot easier to use, a lot easier to see. That's going to be a very nice benefit. Now, on top of that, we're also getting the new chip, which is going to be a 3-nanometer chip from TSMC. That means it's going to be a lot more efficient. It's going to allow for better battery life, less heat, but Apple's probably going to give us new features that use potentially more power to balance out the battery life to keep it the same, which is something they always do. That means that perhaps they're going to increase the brightness of the display even more, especially when you're outside. And in terms of Apple completely redesigning the Apple Watch, changing the magnetic system, which has been leaked and rumored, Apple is likely not doing that this year. I mean, maybe there's a chance it'll happen, but Mark Gurman was saying it's not going to happen this year. So if you have a big band collection, don't worry, you're going to be able to use your bands for a while, but it likely means it might be time to start selling your bands off on the secondhand market. Now, the one that I'm really excited for, the next product, is actually the Apple Watch SE. And this one's going to be interesting because instead of keeping the traditional upgrade method like they usually do, they're going to be switching the case material from aluminum over to plastic. Of course, that sounds quite cheap. It sounds like it might get scratched up, but they're going to do something very fun with it. They're going to do something like they did for the iPhone 5C, and they're going to introduce a bunch of new colors. And I think they're going to try to really go for that young market, the teenage market, the younger market, especially since they're doing Apple Watch for kids, which is making it really easy for kids to have a connected phone and text messaging, location tracking, everything on their wrist without having to pay for, $50 a month for a cell phone like you usually would. You just get your kid an Apple Watch. I think that's a great idea. And then finally, we're also getting the Apple Watch Ultra 3, which we're not expecting many changes with this because it has a new design, looks great, but I think they're going to introduce a space black color finally for the Ultra, which a lot of people have wanted, including myself. I think it's going to be very popular just for that, but of course we're also expecting the new chip to come with that as well. Now on to the next 2 products. That was the first 3. We actually had some information from Mark Gurman that said that the iPad mini was running very low on stock in the Apple stores, which of course we had rumors of the iPad mini getting finally replaced. I'm very, very excited to see that happen. So it looks like we might be getting the Mini 7 at this event, which is great because I was honestly worried that it would get delayed until October or November, but it's more than likely it's coming in just a few days. And what we're expecting here is actually not that many changes. We're not expecting a huge redesign. We're not expecting the OLED displays because that's likely coming in 2026 or 2027 with the next update, but we are expecting an upgraded chip, which is going to be great because it's likely going to be the A17 Pro, which does support Apple Intelligence, which is a big deal for the iPad mini. It means it's going to be more future-proofed. It's going to be a lot more powerful because that chip is a huge upgrade compared to the one we have in there right now. So I think it's a really good, solid update for a lot of people who are looking for a new iPad. Of course, we are also expecting the new iPad 11th gen, which once again is going to be upgraded with a better chip, likely not the A17 Pro, probably just the A16. So of course that's a budget model, but it's going to be nice to see an upgrade once again, which means you have longer software updates if you choose to upgrade to that new model. And now for the next one, we actually have two products. We're expecting the new AirPods 4 and the AirPods 4 Plus to come at this September event. Yes, it's going to be fully loaded with new products. We're expecting a new design with updated speaker drivers, a new case design as well, and essentially both of these new AirPods are replacing the current AirPods 2 and AirPods 3, which are kind of making the lineup very confusing. So they're replacing both at the same time. Apple is actually expected to sell a lot. So they ordered about 20 to 25 million, which is the biggest AirPods launch ever. So I think these are going to be very popular. And in terms of the higher end AirPods 4, those models are actually going to be getting noise cancellation for the first time on a regular AirPods model, which is really big because you're going to be able to get noise canceling for a lower price. The case itself is also going to have speaker holes built in for Apple Find My, so it's going to play a sound, help you find it. I think that's going to be very convenient. And in terms of the actual pricing, I think the regular AirPods 4 are likely going to be $150, while the AirPods 4 Plus, or whatever they're going to be called, will be likely $200. So I think it's going to be a huge update. And the final product, the eighth one, is actually a bunch of products put together. Of course, that's the new iPhone 16 lineup. We have the iPhone 16, we have the iPhone 16 Plus. The last year we're getting that. We have the iPhone 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max. And I'm very excited for these because we're expecting a bunch of new updates specifically for the Pro models, where we're getting larger displays for the first time in a couple of years. 6.3 inches on the regular size compared to 6.1, and then 6.9 inches compared to 6.7. So they're actually getting a little bit taller, more screen real estate, which is always nice. Of course, we're expecting the A18 and A18 Pro chips, A18 on the regular models, A18 Pro on the high end, but I think they're actually going to be the same physical chip, but with the A18 basically being binned down with some cores disabled. So I think that's a wise move for Apple to do. But in terms of other upgrades, the display is actually going to be brighter for standard brightness from 1000 nits up to 1200. That's going to be a nice bump up. It's definitely going to look a lot better. The display itself is also going to be more efficient. We're expecting Wi-Fi 7, which is huge. The Snapdragon X75 modem, which is going to help a lot for efficiency and basically giving you better battery life as well. Also, of course, expecting larger batteries, and they're going to be stainless steel now, fully enclosed, which is going to help with essentially being more efficient in terms of how much juice you can pack in, because they're going to be swelling less than the current battery tech that we have. So big updates there. And alongside with that, because of the batteries, we're also expecting MagSafe wireless charging to go up to 20 watts and 40 watts for wired, which is on the Pro models. That's going to be a really nice upgrade. The whole lineup is actually getting the capture button, which is for taking photos, taking videos. You can actually press halfway down to focus and press all the way down to snap a photo, which is really cool. You can also swipe left and right to zoom in, zoom out. That's going to the entire lineup. I think that's going to be a big deal for Apple. And in terms of the regular models, they're not getting as many updates, but the camera layout is being changed from basically diagonal to vertical, both like a pill-shaped. I think it's going to look really cool. The renders that we have look awesome. And the Pro models are getting 48 megapixels on the ultra-wide, which is a huge deal for me. I think that's going to be a lot better in terms of the quality. And also, the regular 16 Pro is now going to be getting the 5x telephoto lens, which I personally love on my Pro Max. I think it's a really big deal. So with that said, those are the 8 new products we are expecting, and we absolutely love it here in Shenzhen, China, and everywhere else that we visited. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and we can't wait to watch the event with you and create awesome content. So if you're excited, definitely subscribe above for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.